What's up, boys and girls, and welcome to the A.T.A.N.A.T podcast, episode 3. Today, I'm here again with my brother, Hackbeard, and we're going to be going through the normal stuff with you. We're also going to be talking a bit about the new information on the Black Desert Online launch and a lot more. So, yeah, Dan, what did you want to get started with?
So today, should we just talk about, straight into it? Should we go with the games that we played in the week? What games we've been playing?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's start with that.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go. Yeah, what have you been playing then? What have you started
Thank you so much. Well, okay, so first of all, I've actually been playing a lot more. I know it's been a while since we last did this, so I've got a few games to talk through. First of all, I think I'll start with Grim Fandango Remastered that I've been playing on my PlayStation 4. It was free with PlayStation Plus the other week, so I thought I'd give it a go. Pretty good point-and-click based adventure game. Classic point-and-click adventure game. It's it doesn't really show its age, which I think is quite impressive. I mean, obviously, visually, yes, it shows its age. But the gameplay, it's point-and-click, so how old can it really feel? It's just go here, pick this up, solve these puzzles. Really, really good writing, very tight story, very, very funny characters. But I think perhaps the thing that's most frustrating about it is that it's got that classic 90s puzzle-solving, ridiculous logic to it. Like, only a madman would be able to decipher the intricacies of some of these puzzles. There's like a bit where you've got to break a machine. So you have to go into a factory. First of all, you have to go to a clown who's outside on the street, get him to give you some blow-up balloons, go into a factory, fill those balloons up with like poly cement, and then tip them into the machine to block the machine. Now, how anyone could solve that by, like natural... It's just trial and error, isn't it? I mean, could you really, really honestly think going to a clown and asking him for some balloons and then filling them up and then, like, shoving them into a machine would break it? It's just... As fun as it is, I mean, I can't imagine the people who had to play this through the first time without the walkthroughs. It must have taken them hours to solve some of these puzzles. Other than that, though, pretty good. Pretty good fun story. Interesting puzzles, to say the least. But
Yeah,
I'm
sounds
enjoying
kind of
it.
weird.
It is, and it's not that long as well, so it's quite a nice little game to dip in and out of. Let's have one of your games. What have you been playing?
I tried to, so obviously still playing a hell of a lot of Black Desert Online, but I did actually manage to try a couple new games this week for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
So I finally took the plunge, and the thing is with you, you play new release games kind of thing, don't you?
I like to when I can, yeah.
Yeah, whereas I play like really outdated games that I've refused to play for so long, then eventually I end up playing them.
Sure.
So I finally bought Counter-Strike Global
Nice.
Offensive earlier in the week. Oh, no, I didn't buy it. That's a lie. Sorry, someone bought it for me. That's not fair.
Oh, that's lovely.
One of my viewers called the Barkarian bought it for me. Got it for me as a Christmas present, and I finally installed it and I started playing it. Really interesting game. However, it seems like most people just play one map on it, which is kind of odd.
Well, that is a bit... I mean, that's the thing that... If I could tie this into some of the games that I play, I don't play Counter-Strike personally myself, but I'm a big Call of Duty player, as we've previously discussed, and that would absolutely ruin the game for me, because the one thing that can make or break a Call of Duty game for me is the map variety and the quality of the maps. And so you're saying that they literally play... Is it one game type they play or one map?
Well, both. There's like
Really?
there's the game type, which is literally just plant the bomb kind of
Right.
thing. Search and destroy, if you will. If you play, if you don't play Counter Strike, it's like search and destroy from Call of Duty. One life, plant the bomb. One team defends, one team attacks.
Right. Is this map? I've been to a couple of like gaming conventions and seen some of it on the big screen. Them doing tournaments. Is this map got kind of like? Is it kind of set in like a kind of a Middle Eastern town
Yes.
with marbly archery? Wow. So that's
It's called Dust.
right. I
the
was
map.
wondering why I kept seeing that map.
Now,
come up.
it's not the only map. There are plenty of maps in the game. I don't know of an exact number, but there's definitely upwards of 10. I would say. The problem being is that this map just seems to be the only map that anyone ever plays ever.
It
Because
must be just like the only one that's approved for competitive play or something.
well, that's it. Apparently, it's the most balanced map according to
Right.
some people, or something like that. So it just gets picked, and that's the one that all the pros play and everything. So everyone just sort of like copies them and all plays that.
Have you been learning all the nade spots, or have you just been bumbling around like an idiot and getting your ass
bumbling
handed
around
to
like
you?
an idiot and getting absolutely ruined?
Fantastic.
Yep.
How hard? What is the skill level of the average player in that game? I imagine it's high, to say the least.
Some people are actually pretty terrible at the game.
Really?
They really are. Yeah, but it doesn't stop me from getting ruined, don't get me wrong, because I've never played a first-person shooter with a mouse and a keyboard, which is totally different and confusing as hell.
Yep.
but I kind of get to the point where once you die, when you're bad like me and you die, say 30 seconds into a round and you have to wait 5 minutes for the round to end, it sort of rustles you a little bit because most of the time I'm not actually playing the bloody game.
I mean, this is obviously the competitive scene, but I remember you telling me, and I've seen this myself, I know there are like non-competitive custom games. Have you ever thought about playing those?
Yeah, I've played some of those. Yeah, there's sort of like surfing is one of them that I've played. That's only the only proper one that I've tried for more than
Surfing.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, you get your character and you jump on these, like, angled platforms and just slide through the map on them.
Is there any shooting involved?
No. You literally surf on these platforms to try and get to the end. It's almost like a puzzle kind of thing, if you will, because you have to do certain movements to get past certain jumps and stuff.
And do you do this in a lobby full of other people watching you surf?
Well, I just do it with, I do it with friends, like a maximum of 10 people.
See,
join.
so you're sort of just messing around, basically.
Yeah, it's literally totally random as hell.
People don't do anything to entertain themselves, I guess. But
well,
fair enough.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played Counter-Strike, and then the other game that I tried, I don't actually know how old this game is. I have no idea if it's outdated as hell or not. But again, one of my viewers actually bought this for me as well, and it's a game called Killing Floor 2.
No, Killing Floor 2, that's pretty good going, man. That came out... Is it still in early access? I think it's still in early access.
Oh, really? It's April the 2nd... April the 21st, 2015, apparently, that it came out.
Oh, I could have sworn...
I don't know whether it's in early access, but that's just what the release date says on Google.
Okay, well, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, that's what the release says. I could have sworn that I hadn't heard about it being properly released. I'm just going to quick... I mean, unless there's a Killing Floor 3 that I haven't heard of. Killing Floor 2. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it's still in early access, so you've you've done well there.
So there we go. We're up to date then. We're up to date. Yeah. But yeah, so I played that for about half an hour with a guy called A.T.A.N.A.T. Tried a couple games of it. It's one of those games that I can see myself playing like one game at the end of an evening kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, I've played, Black Desert Online, or I've played whatever the hell you play for 3-4 hours. I'm just going to wind down with a quick game of Killing Floor 2 and then stop there.
I mean, it's a zombie, like, horde defense. I mean, you're shooting against zombies in, like, a wave defense, isn't it? Is that what it is? Wave defense against zombies? Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as I'm told, that is the game kind of thing. Like, all it is just, like, wave defense kind of thing. I mean, it's fun. There are different classes and everything. I was playing as the melee guy. And you get
melee guy,
melee, whatever. You start with a spade as your like initial weapon, which is a spade with serrated edges, and that's always fun. And then you sort of like upgrade over time to a katana, then some like crazy medieval sword thing, and then in the end you get kind of, I can't even explain it. It's like a saw kind of thing, like that chucks. Like I can't explain it. Like serrated blades kind of thing that you'd get in like spinning blades. I can't think what they're called. Like saw blades. No, not chainsaw. Like a blade, like a circular blade with serrated edges all around.
Yeah. Circular saws.
Sure, those. Yeah, you get a weapon which launches those and shit and cuts zombies in half.
Good lord.
So, or whatever they are. I don't think they're zombies. I don't know if they're zombies or aliens or what. I don't get the story behind it. But yeah, and then you get a boss wave at the end of sort of like the waves. If you survive them all, then you do the boss, and then GG, you win. And that's sort of like
I'm watching the video I'm watching the trailer of it on Steam, and the shooting looks very satisfying. Like, there's big explosions each time you like fire the guns, and they kick back savagely, and zombies seem to gibletify.
That's what I was going to say. They sort of like explode and get cut in half, and then you get headshots and
giblification.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You get a sledgehammer in the game as well, which you can smash them in the head with, and their head like kind of explodes.
I've heard good things about it, and I don't doubt its quality. I'm just so done with zombie games. I was done with zombie games after Left 4 Dead 2, and they just seem to keep coming. H1Z1, and to a lesser extent, I know Rust isn't chiefly about zombies, but it's got that same kind of spooky kind of things throwing themselves at you.
Yeah.
I don't know, zombie games to me, and obviously the Call of Duty zombies, I can't, as much as I am into my Call of Duty, I can't be doing with the Call of Duty zombies, because I think it's done. I think we're in a good place now, actually, because do you remember, like, I think it must have been, a year ago when H1Z1 was pretty much coming out and everyone was just hopping on the zombie train, and every, like, second or third game on Steam was just some sort of zombie survival or shooter game thereof, and I was just getting sick of them, zombie games, but now, I don't know, maybe they found their niche now, they've calmed down a little bit, it seems.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely worth trying out if you've got, like, a bit of spare money and you want to... A bit of explosion fun, but yeah, it's pretty decent. But yeah, I mean, those are the two games I've been playing, and then obviously Black Desert. Still been playing that a lot.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I've got a couple more games, just two more games. So just Grim Fandango was the first one. Not actually this week. I know because we haven't done a podcast for a couple of weeks, unfortunately. But I do need to talk about this. Need to get this off. Played the Division beta. Played the
Right.
Division beta on PS4.
That was last weekend, wasn't it?
Was it last weekend or was it the
Yeah.
weekend before last?
I think it was last weekend.
Actually, I think it was last weekend. Okay, so it's still valid. It's still within the games I've played this week, so there we go. That's fine. So yeah, big hype around this. Around a lot of people at work were really into this. A lot of people, in general, were really looking forward to this. One of the big games of the year. Okay, so look, right. Okay, so the Division, the PvP in it was really actually quite fun and something a bit unique that I hadn't experienced before. It's called the Dark Zone. Did I explain any of this to you? I can go through it briefly if I haven't.
Yeah, go for it. No.
Right,
Dark Zone. No, I've no idea.
Dark Zone. You zone into this separate area. It's instance, so it's you and perhaps maybe 40 other people. I'm just pulling that number completely off the top of my head, but it seemed to be that kind of amount of people. It's quite a big area. You zone into it, and you go in there, and it's got a hybrid of PvP and PvE. So whilst you're running around, you can go and you can find some NPC bad guys, some PvE bad guys. You can shoot them, take them down, grab their loot. Now, at the same time, obviously, you've got other players in there. And every time you see another player, you can, if you want, take them out, even though they should really be on your team. Now, if you take them out, you are branded as a rogue agent. And as soon as you're a rogue agent, you appear in close proximity for everyone else to kind of see you. It says, "Oh, there's some rogue agents over here who've been taken down, fellow agents. Go and take them out and show them what for." If you then in turn you shoot a rogue agent, you and yourself do not become a rogue. It's only when you shoot innocent, shall we say, other players, other agents.
Sounds very similar to the Black Desert Bounty Hunter system.
Okay.
So yeah, that makes
just,
sense.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because the PvP, therefore the PvP element of the game, it's similar in Black Desert, is entirely player driven. The player makes up the PvP. That you could go into a Dark Zone and not experience any PvP, or it could be a massive free for all with everyone shooting everyone. So I think that's quite interesting. At the same time, when you're killing these PvE mobs, the non-player controlled characters, you're getting loot off them. Really good items. Some of the best items in the game are dropped in the Dark Zone. However, every item you picked up is contaminated because the entire story is that some sort of deadly virus has broken out and the world's ended or whatever. It's contaminated with this virus, and you have to have it extracted for it to be decontaminated for you to use it. Now, to get it extracted, you need to call into a helicopter into a drop zone and take your little package off with all your weapons that you're carrying and stick it on a rope and let the helicopter fly off with it. As soon as you've called in a helicopter for this evac, everyone else in the map is alerted to its presence. Be like, over here, there's an evac coming in. So they can rock up, have a look at you, decide whether or not you're good enough to be whether or not they want to take you out, and they can have a pop at you, try and kill you, and then steal all of the loot that you've currently taken from the Dark Zone.
So you drop the loot, or
you do. If you die, you drop the loot, and that's every single piece of item that you've picked up in the Dark Zone. Obviously, the stuff that you're using, you can't drop that.
So only loot you've obtained in that particular
only
zone.
loot you've obtained in there. So people could come over, and if they think they can take you or your group, they can take you out, have your loot. At the same time, up to 4 people can hoist their loot onto this evac. So people could turn up and go, "All right, we'll protect you if you protect us. Let's get all our loot on our merry way on this drop zone thing." So it kind of creates some really unique situations of cooperation at the same time. Oh, are they going to turn on you? Are they going to take you out at the last second and steal your loot and then stick it on themselves and then run away? So that's great. I really like the Dark Zone. Really good fun.
I mean, I think the main problem for that game, which is what everyone's concerned with, which is one of the reasons why I'm actually not really hyped to play it, is I can't see there being any end game. Or I don't know how they're going to do the end game well. So obviously, let's say it's like every other MMO. So it's going to have battlegrounds.
Yeah.
That is just going to be...
Well, I mean, the battlegrounds of the Dark Zone, really. Think of it that way, because it's a cordoned off instance area where you can do PvP. So that will be the battlegrounds, yes.
So they're not going to have just, 6v6 team deathmatches, you don't think?
No. They're going for a different experience. The Dark Zone will be the closest thing you get to that, and then you'll have the Borderlands-style PvE, let's go and do looter-shooter kind of, let's get our epic loot kind of thing. So no, right. I don't think they'll... I mean, they could, I suppose, but I don't think they will, because they haven't mentioned anything about it, and the game's out in like a month or two. So I don't think they will.
Right, okay. So, okay, interesting. Is that there's no Holy Trinity in that game, is there? I don't know, I haven't played it.
Yes, sort of. There's definitely healers, and there's definitely damage dealers, and you can get sort of tanking... I mean, one of the attachments in the game, the suppressor, its literal item description is reduces your threat to enemy NPC, or like reduces your threat to enemy computer-controlled players or something. So they are very much going for the tank healer DPS feel. The healer thing, it's kind of, you get all these little gadgets you can activate, and I got one of the healer ones that I could use on me and like my buddy when we were playing. When he got close enough, it would like release a healing mist. I don't know how well the tanking is going to work because, quite frankly, have you ever played a shooter where tanking has worked?
Well, yeah, you shouldn't have to have a tank in a shooter, surely.
Yeah, it's just a bit odd, isn't it? I mean, I can't remember with Destiny. I don't think there were tanks in Destiny. There was like certainly players who could take more damage and put down shields, but I don't think there was really an aggro table as such. I think it just relied on everyone to avoid the attacks, like not stand in the green shit as we used to say in World of Warcraft. But
right,
actual tanking, don't think so. Although I could be proved wrong when because we haven't seen the skill trees yet. We've only seen a very small snippet of them, so we haven't seen the bigger picture. So there might be. But yes, I agree with you. I'm not sure about the end game. I'm also not sure about the game in general. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. Quite frankly, the Dark Zone is a lot of fun. The shooting itself, it's third person. The shooting itself is some of the blandest shooting you can find in a third person shooter. It's just classic over the shoulder, bang, bang, bang. It's, you know how good the shooting was in Gears of War because it had that tense kind of rolling system and you had a really nice flow where you could mantle things and you could run up and melee someone and then stick them with a grenade and roll away. It doesn't have any of that. It just feels very, almost wooden, very stiff. Just, the shooting's fine, but it's nothing special. The movement's fine, but it's nothing special. So I think that's where it could potentially fall down.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so...
Okay, interesting.
Jury's still out on that one.
Sorry, just really quickly, for anyone that hears this back on the podcast on YouTube, someone just linked me a trailer of a game, and it auto played, so it started playing like some random like background music. So that's what that was. If you're confused, it looks like quite an interesting game though.
What is it? The trailer of The Division? Sorry, or
no. This is a game called One Life.
Never heard of it.
No, me neither. Apparently, if you die in this game, you can never play again.
Oh, wow, okay.
To the point where apparently it might remove the game from your Steam account?
Well, that's interesting, yes. Well, you say that. I can certainly believe that, because I was talking with someone the other day, and they were telling me about these like hardcore games that you can download where if you lose or you die, it'll just flood your computer with viruses.
What?
Yeah, so or it's something like... There's several iterations of it. One of them I heard... if you die, that's it. It just bricks your computer, more or less. It's quite a low-tech game, so you can run it on an old, CRT.
Well, like, ruins your
Intel
computer.
Pentium. Yeah,
like,
yeah, you can never use...
it.
Yeah, absolutely bricks it.
Wow, okay.
There are other ones where it's kind of like you've got to take out enemies, and the enemies are fine down, you take them out. But if you accidentally shoot other things that you're not supposed to shoot, you are literally shooting and destroying files in your computer. Like, your files on your computer system are represented by these objects in the game, and if you shoot them, you're deleting those files. So you never know, you could be deleting, or shooting and deleting, the system registry, and it could just completely kill the computer.
That's the stupidest idea for a game I've ever
Yeah,
had.
I can't remember what the name of the
play
genre
this
is.
game, it might break your computer. Okay, that sounds like fun.
That's the thrill of it. I mean, it's not something like someone's done for a joke. It's something that said, yo, we've developed this, play it if you dare kind of thing. There's another one where as soon as you do something wrong or mess up, it will quickly start deleting your files one by one, and you have to fix the problem before it deletes something, it'll start off on like minor files, like music, MP3 files, and then the longer you leave the problem, it'll start deleting the serious stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, but they do exist. I looked it up because I didn't believe it. I was like, no, this is bollocks. But I looked it up, and yeah, apparently this is very real. So
interesting.
A terrifying thought, but yes.
That's pretty ridiculous.
It's part of the hardcore indie gaming niche, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently it's called Lose or Lose.
Well, is this is the
That's what the game's called, apparently.
What, the one you just... The one
that you're talking about.
Oh, there we go. Brilliant.
I'll allow that. When I try and go on the website, it says this site contains harmful programs. Back to safety.
There we go. There it is.
No time for that.
So, crazy stuff.
But yeah, okay, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah. So, I know, quickly, final game. Have you got any more games? Because we can do
no, those are pretty much the only ones that I've been playing this week. I tried Blade and Soul. I actually tried it.
Is this the funny one you were talking about last week with all the kind of cutscenes and cinematics and all
that? Yeah, that's it. I mean, I tried it, and I got to about level 6. Which is a grand total of, like...
So, it's a no from you then, is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right,
I mean, I probably will revisit it. No, I probably won't revisit it at some point. Yeah, I think we're done. I think I'm done with Blade.
That's a fairly damning a very damning statement from you, because I swear to God you'll play any MMO.
I'm really picky with MMOs.
Really?
I've tried quite a lot. I normally hate them.
Okay.
Remember Guild Wars 2? I got to a whopping level 25 in that game before deciding that the game sucked.
I quite like Guild Wars 2. Did
I
you
know
play
you did.
Knights of the Old Republic? Sorry, the Old Republic.
No, it literally didn't interest me in the slightest.
It was fairly good, but it literally just ripped entire pieces of content and systems from World of Warcraft. I know that World of Warcraft in turn ripped it from EverQuest and a bunch of other things, but seriously, I mean, the talent trees were exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was good fun, though. They had some interesting companion systems, and the story was quite decent. And come on, man, you got to colour your own lightsaber. I was rocking an orange lightsaber as a Jedi Consular. It was pretty rad. But, yeah, final game for me, XCOM 2 for this week. Oh, XCOM 2.
Yeah. A lot of people in my chat have actually been asking me about that and said, have you...
It's so good.
Have you played it before? And everything. I'm like, no, I don't... Because it's a turn-based game, isn't it?
It is. It's turn-based strategy. It's like... Pretty much my favourite genre, turn-based strategy.
You love that. I can't do turn-based strategy, but yeah, go on, tell us.
It's just brilliant. I mean, what I was going to say is that I was looking at my Steam stats earlier, and I've logged 99 minutes on it. And I would argue that 15 of those minutes are actual gameplay, and the rest of it is me literally just sitting there creating everyone as a soldier for my squad.
Right.
Like, all the people I know. So, like, you can go, before you start the game, you can go to, like, a squad creator, and you can just create likenesses of people and make them look exactly like who you know. I started creating you earlier, so I gave him a lip ring and really long hair and a big beard.
So
and
how good is the customer character creation?
You know, the quality of the models is very good. It's a dramatic step up from the last one. The problem is that, whereas... you can do some pretty crazy things, like you can give them tattoos on one arm and tattoos on another. That's the point. I need to give you an arm tattoo, actually. That'd be good. Tattoos on one arm, tattoos on another arm. Change the colour of those. Change the colour of the armour. Change the colour of the camo on the armour. Some really in-depth things. Some of the actual things where it matters, if you want to make the likeness of people, where like you want to like change the hairstyle or maybe their beard, you don't have as many options as I'd like. So, for instance, for you, I wanted to give you like an all-over stubble option, and there simply isn't an option for that.
Yeah, game's ruined. Uninstall it.
You can get a big bushy beard, or you can have a bit of stubble, but there's nothing in between, which is a bit of a shame. It still looks fairly like you, and I was able to give you a nickname, so you're called Thomas Wiggles Cox, which is
as you do.
As you do, yeah. So it's pretty rad, but. I don't know. I do enjoy it, but I just can't turn myself away from the character customization screen. It's pretty cool. The game I've played, it's pretty much like the first one, except it's just improved in every way. I've only played 15 minutes, but still pretty good. I can't wait to play more. So that's my 3 games for the week.
Super.
Yeah, right. Next section, you're going to have to lead us on this, because I've just got written down here, it's BDO release announced, so go.
Yeah, so... the Black Desert has been announced to come out in... Did you just drop your microphone?
It's fine, it's good, we've recovered.
Okay. They have announced the BDO West to be released on the 3rd of March. So that's a very short release. It was said that it was going to be... Oh my god, what have you done with your microphone?
Sorry.
They've said that the BDO was going to be released in the first quarter of 2016, so we were all sort of like expecting the very end of March or something. So it's pretty nice that they're bringing it out at the very beginning of March, so that's decent. There's also a closed beta coming up on the 18th of February, which I think, when they say it's a closed beta, from what we've heard, is they're going to be letting a lot of people in. So I think if you want to try the game, chances are you're probably going to get into it.
Well, I mean, this is it, isn't it? They always say closed beta, but I think they said the division that I played was a closed beta, and quite frankly, it wasn't a closed beta.
No,
it was.
That is pretty much you just have to sign up kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It was monstrously big. There was a lot of people playing.
Yeah. So that there's a massive thing for that. Lots of people are trying to get closed beta codes. I mean, they've obviously done the cheeky thing where if you buy the more expensive game version, you get a beta code for it. So if you buy the €50 or the €100 version, you then get a beta code to join the game, as well as the game when it releases, obviously.
Of course.
But there's still a lot of things that we haven't been told about yet. So there's one of the things like I'm curious what you think about this. There are 2 different types of servers. There's a thing called a mega server, and then there's a thing that's also called dedicated servers. So I don't know if you know the difference. Mega servers, there's just one server with loads of different channels that you can hop between. And then a
Yeah.
dedicated server is something like on World of Warcraft, we had Drain or Storm
Yeah,
Scale.
so I'm pretty sure I've played some MMOs with a mega server. I think when I played the Elder Scrolls Online, that was a mega server. I think I could be wrong.
On what game?
Oh, sorry, did I say we? I just meant me.
No,
I
no.
meant, Elder Scrolls Online. I played the
Elder
beta
Scrolls.
of it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I have no idea because I've never played that game really. I played it for like 10 minutes. But yeah, so there's a lot of hoo-ha going on whether it's going to be a mega server or a separated servers and all this because it like inflicts PvP quite heavily whichever way they decide to go about it. But yeah, so there are a lot of people that are really hyped for the game to be released, myself included.
Of course.
So hopefully it will not be an absolute train wreck because you've been there with me. We used to play MMOs together, throughout our childhood and teenage years.
Yep.
And MMO launches or MMO expansions were normally pure just system meltdown.
Yeah.
Like the queues for servers, the games crashing, game-breaking glitches.
So you say it's got both a mega server and a dedicated server?
No, they haven't decided yet, which I find insane because the game's coming out in less than a month.
So what are they running? What does it run in Korea?
Well, on Korea and Russia, it runs mega servers.
Wow. Okay.
But they're like on the forums, they're saying, what server do you guys want? Do you want a mega server? Do you want, dedicated servers? I'm just thinking, hang on a minute. This game comes out in 3 or 4 weeks. How can you possibly stress test and, do all the engineering required to change the servers last minute? I reckon they've already decided which server type they're going with, and they're trying to see if there's going to be any population backlash from doing it.
What's your is there any sort of carryover from the beta that you've been playing?
What do you mean?
Character progression, items.
Oh, what is it carrying over from the beta?
Yeah.
Sorry, no. Games that do that are dead before they release.
Right. I suppose people have such a massive head start, wouldn't they? At least you probably get like a title or a pet or something, right?
I don't think so. Not for petals. I mean, there were things like there was a fishing contest in the first beta, and if you caught the fish that you needed, then you're going to get a title when the game gets released.
Hang on. Back up. So you said there's no progression. So that you freaking out over your tier 7 horse. By the way, I know. Listeners, if you haven't gone and seen this video, it's on Tom's channel, Private Wiggles. Oh, is it Private Wiggles on YouTube? Private Wiggles TV?
Yeah, it's just Private Wiggles.
Private Wiggles. Go and watch his tier 7 horse video. It's one of the funniest things you'll see, because it's just... I love the bit when you bang the desk.
Yeah.
I bet like next door could have heard that. It was fantastic. So that's not going to carry over?
No.
Then why? Okay, whatever.
Because I'm playing it to pass time and learn the game,
Okay, alright.
So it was still exciting. I'll still have it on Korea, won't I? If I decide to just play Korea, if EU's an absolute, catastrophe, right. I can just go back to Korea. It's not going to delete my account, is it?
No, I suppose you're right.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping the launch is smooth because that kind of dictates No, it doesn't dictate the success of the game. It helps the success of the game, if you will.
I'm not going to lie. I have never played an MMO with a smooth launch ever. I've played MMOs with less problems, but they all have,
I have played... Now, the thing is with this game, they're doing the very popular thing. When you pay more money for the bigger packs, you get early access.
Right.
Like, you get a head start, if you will. 4 days before release. If you spend €100, you get 4 days early access. Lots of MMOs are doing that. I hate it. I personally hate it because it almost bullies people like me, who are, I'm normally quite a competitive player on MMOs. I like to be ahead in the game and all this. I like to be up to date. I almost feel like it's bullying someone like me into buying the €100 version. I mean, I would have done that for this game anyway because I put a lot of time into it already. But someone else who may not have put as much time into it and they're not sure if they like it or not, they still might feel the need to put the money just to get their head start so they don't fall behind their guild mates, for example, that they might have sorted out.
I mean, it is pigeonholing, but you say that they're not going to allow the content to transfer over from the beta because it would make it dead on arrival. But this has got to be hurting the game as well. So how long's the head start again?
96 hours if you spend €100, 48 hours if you spend €50, and 24 hours if you spend 30.
They've gated it. They've staged it depending on how much money you give them. That's a
yes. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it bullies you into buying the more expensive ones almost.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that they've tiered the extra release. That's a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But it will ensure a smooth transition of players because you're not going to get everyone dumping on at the same time.
This is what I was going to say. So going back to what we were saying initially about games having always problems at launch, if you look back to a game like Arcade, for example, which is the I think that's the only other one I've played that has a head start. It's normally a Korean games. They love doing that. They love giving you the head starts. Blade and Soul did it as well. But yeah, so on Arcade, there were absolutely no server problems whatsoever for the first 4 days when I had my head start. As soon as those 4 days were up, and it hit launch day,
the peasant general populace,
ruined.
Right.
Like, I couldn't do anything
because all the
because of the
queue.
Because of the servers crashing, it was ridiculous. But the thing that makes me feel like this isn't going to happen to Black Desert is the fact that this is not a free-to-play game. So, games like Arcade, games like Blade, it's not... No, it's buy-to-play. It's like Elder Scrolls.
Guild Wars 2, okay, fine.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls, Guild Wars 2, whichever.
Yeah.
So games like Arcade, games like Blade and Soul, they were free-to-play. So obviously on launch day, everyone goes, oh my god, let's check out this new MMO, this just come out, it won't cost me anything. And then they've ruined the servers.
Yeah.
Whereas this is probably going to have much less interest because you actually have to pay for the game.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm being enthusiastic that it won't get ruined.
Cautiously optimistic, I think.
Yes, there we go. I mean, they've already had over... I can't remember the number, but I think it was over 200,000 pre-orders of the Conquerors pack, I think.
Which pack?
The €100 one.
Oh, right, wow.
Now, I don't know whether that's... I could be wrong, but I'm sure someone sent me a screenshot of it about and everything. And it was like, up to this day, there'd been like 200,000 of it or something like that. So it's... Yeah, it's pretty crazy, you know.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, I mean, it will be very interesting to see come March. Was it March?
Yeah,
March. It'll be very interesting to see come March exactly how this works. It will also be very interesting to see for your channel as well, because I know a lot of your content is BDO online, is BDO based. So, I mean, what do you reckon? What do you reckon is going to happen if it bugs out or if it doesn't launch poorly? Are you going to have to kind of adapt what you do?
If it doesn't launch poorly or if it does launch poorly?
If it doesn't launch properly, if you've got like if you'd scheduled in a day, because I presume you do at least a little bit of planning for what you're going to do. Yeah, good. If say you can't get online for no fault of your own.
Oh, I see what you mean. What am I going to do? I have the Korean version.
Ah, brilliant. Of course.
So I can just play the Korean version. This is one other nice thing. If there are massive problems with the servers, they're like, oh my god, we've got 8 hours of downtime all of a sudden. No joke, I can just go play the Korean version still because I've got a high-level character on Korea.
Okay.
So it doesn't even matter. I mean, on the other thing as well is, what I think is going to happen is what happens with all MMOs. But so what happened is obviously, like, let's take my YouTube channel, for example, because like you said, I do a lot of Black Desert content. I have noticed a spike in views increase recently.
For you personally?
Yes, for me personally, because I'm a Black Desert channel.
Yes.
So the debate has been announced. The launch date has been announced. So all of a sudden, people who have never heard of this game are starting to hear about the game.
That's great.
So what's going to happen up until launch is going to go up and up and up and up and up and up and up. It will hit launch day, right?
Yep.
And it will probably skyrocket on launch day.
That's good.
Okay.
If
and then
you can get on.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean views on my YouTube channel.
Ah, right.
So it will probably skyrocket on launch day. And then what will happen is with all these new MMOs, and this is the trouble for them, is they will then decrease quite rapidly and then plateau off. Yeah. So, for example, you heard everything about Blade and Soul when it was coming out for the last 3 months. Everyone was going mad about Blade and Soul coming out. All of a sudden, barely anyone talks about it anymore because it's been released, it's had its hypes, and now it's not as interesting anymore to people. So the problem that I can see with Blade and Soul launching is that a lot of it is to do with marketing and all that, obviously. And I don't think they've marketed it well enough.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, I'm sure that depends on the success of the game itself, whether or not your views will plateau or not, or just keep climbing. But
yeah, obviously, yeah.
I know for a fact that I would never have heard about the game if you hadn't started playing it.
What?
BDO. I would never. I'm just saying. You're saying I don't know how well they've marketed it.
Well, this is it. This is the thing. Like, whenever I mention to my friends, say if I go to my any of my friends that play any form of MMO, and I go, "You heard of Blade and Soul?" They go, "Yeah." If I go to any of my friends and be, "Oh, Black Desert," no, what the fuck's that?
Yeah.
Like they don't know what it is because what Blade and Soul is, they're very clever. They paid big YouTubers to do paid content. Yeah. They paid big streamers to do big hype streams, like Soda Poppin'.
Right.
Did a stream, multiple streams with 20, 30k viewers, did giveaways of the packs and all this stuff. And, that helped to rope in a hell of a lot of attention towards the game. Whereas with Black Desert, I don't know if they're on a much lower budget or something, but there hasn't really been any of that.
Yeah, so I think I said Blade and Soul when I actually meant, for both actually, to be fair.
That's cool.
For both, but I know probably it's different for you when you're in the actual MMO scene more than I am, but I would never have heard of either of them
Right.
If you hadn't mentioned it.
Yeah, but you don't
Actually,
really play
maybe
them.
Blade and Soul. Maybe I did. Maybe I saw Blade and Soul on a news website or something.
But I mean, like the only
I don't
thing
know.
there is a competition going on at the moment in Black Desert. So this is something else. Here's a little bit of news for you boys and girls. Anyone listening, anyone watching right now, they've been doing this competition called Beauty and the Beast. So basically, what it is you go. They've released the character creator as a. This is their promotion tool that they've got for the game at the moment. They've released the character creator. You can create a character ready for launch when the game comes out. You save the creation data file, and then when you install the game, you transfer that into your actual game file. So it's a 7 gig download for a character creator. Yeah, which is absolutely insane. But anyway, they've got a competition at the moment called Beauty and the Beast, and the first section of the competition was the Beast, and you had to design the most horrific looking character you could possibly, like the most horrible looking character you could. I very sadly missed that part of the competition. And the second section is now running is the Beauty, which you have to make the most attractive looking character you can, sort of like the most perfect looking character, if you will.
Right.
Through the customization tool. You can't obviously use like the pre-made things. That's why they ask for your customization data. The winners do get some stuff. Like they get like a goodies bag and stuff like that. So I guess that's some promotion that the game's doing. Get a little bit of hype built up for the game. And it's been the character creation tool, from what I've seen, has been very, very successful. Lots of people have been coming in my stream. They've been saying, "Hey, check out my character that I've created and all this." And you know, it's helped for everyone to get a little bit more hyped about it and all this. But I'm just hoping they maybe pull something out of the hat a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, what kind of exposure do you reckon that would? Do you reckon that will get a lot of downloads? I can't imagine people could be bothered to do a 7 gig download just to enter a competition.
This is the problem. I think unless you're interested in the game already, why would you go download?
Yeah, no, God no. It seems like a bit of misguided marketing.
Now, if it was 500 megabytes,
I'm not sure if I could.
if you were into MMOs,
I'm not sure if I would download even then. I think maybe I would want a Flash product on a browser or nothing.
Right? Okay.
I'd just be like, oh, I can't be bothered to do something for something that I have an infinitesimally small amount of chance at winning.
Yeah.
It just seems like a bit of a weird. I mean, I'll put it to you: have you ever heard this kind of marketing tactic before? I've never heard of anything
in the Beast
like this.
content?
Well, yeah, no, not the content, the method of distribution.
No, don't
There we
really.
go.
No. It is odd. It is odd. I will give you that. But I mean, they are trying. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, at least
they are
doing something.
trying to give us something before the game comes out. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just 7 gigs is a lot. Now, someone in my chat says 7 gigs isn't a lot, in my opinion. But 7 gigs for a character creator,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
is a lot. You can get entire games which are 7 gigs.
Yeah.
So I know it's a very, very good character creator. I will give you that. The character customization in this game is unreal. But it's still a lot for just a character creator, you know.
It is.
But I guess, you know, it's a very intense graphical creator, and also it's not a standalone creator. It looks like what they've done is they've just piggybacked it off the actual game kind of thing, because there's like a server you have to connect to create the character and all this, but obviously you don't actually get to log in and play the game.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've really got to say about Black Desert. I'm sure over the next couple of weeks when we do this, I'm still gonna be obviously probably giving you more news about this.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's interesting to see like a running diary.
Yeah, it's also I love following these kind of games because they're niche games.
Yeah,
and it's really interesting to see how they play out, because a lot of them get absolutely butchered on release. Some of them do quite well in their niche and they survive for a little while. So we're just gonna have to see what happens with this one.
Here's a change. I'll change it. Are we done with Black Desert?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
cool. Here's a question for you. This actually isn't planned. We'll get onto the news in a minute. This isn't part of the plan, but here's a question for you. You were mentioning earlier about Killing Floor and playing games that maybe aren't released straight away. You're paying for them cheaper and everything because they've been out for a while now. And you were saying, and I was saying, I've been playing Grim Fandango, picked it up on PlayStation Plus for free. Do you think more people, particularly on Steam and on PC, are foregoing buying AAA releases on the day of release and waiting for the next big sale? Because I put it to you, here's a perfect example. There's a Steam sale going on at the moment, which I was actually I'll mention this in more detail in the news. Steam sale going on at the moment, and Fallout. I mean, it's only been out since November. Already down 33%. Now, you can say what you like about Steam and how,
Sorry, which game was that? I missed what you said.
Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is down 33%. Say what you like about Steam. With a lot of people think they've had a few PR disasters under their belt recently, and the customer service maybe isn't that great. but they do know how to put on a good sale, and more importantly, these good sales happen very frequently.
Yes, it's like a DFS and whatever, isn't it? There's always a sale on.
Yeah. Is there ever not a sofa sale on at DFS? I bet you. How many of your listeners or viewers are American? Because they got no idea what we're talking about.
What, is Steam not out in America? Oh, you mean DFS?
Yeah, DFS.
Oh, right. Okay, well, there you go. From a generic view, every sofa store ever in existence, or every couch store, or whatever the hell.
I don't know. Maybe it's a booming industry in America. Maybe they don't need.
Trust me, there are probably always sales on it. Well, car salesmen. I don't know. Just discounts all the way, all the time on different.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you reckon more and more people are leaving buying these big games until the first big Steam sale or GOG sale or whatever sale comes up?
Me personally. Definitely, if I were to buy a game like that, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I can't see the justification in spending £50 on a game unless I really, really want it. Like Fallout 4, for example.
Yeah.
I don't like Fallout.
No,
so
that's fair.
That's probably a terrible example to use. I mean, let me think of something, a game that I would want to play. The new Far Cry.
Right.
That's coming out. What's it called?
Primal.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is a game that I would like to play. It looks interesting. It looks fun. It looks different. Now, it's a game that I would like to play, but not so much that I can't wait for launch day and I'm going to explode kind of thing. So with that game, what will happen is the sales will come in and then I will buy it.
Did you play Far Cry 3?
I did. I haven't completed it, though, but I have played Far Cry 3. And
well,
it's very
it plays
good.
very similarly to Far Cry 3, except you can control animals. I played it at work the other day, and it's good, but it's similar is what it is.
Right, okay. Is it ridiculous, though?
Is it what, sorry?
Is it ridiculous? A couple of people were concerned that it might be a bit stupid as a game.
Like that there'll be radio towers or something in the
well,
period,
people were a bit concerned that it looked a bit ridiculous. I remember having a discussion about this a while ago.
You can, like, control an owl and get him to scout out the enemies. It's nothing that's completely immersion-breaking, though, where it's like, it's nothing, like, stupid, like, climb to, not that I've seen anyway, climb to the top of this tower and then you'll get to see the entire valley, like Eagle Vision in, do you remember that in Assassin's Creed, like you had to synchronize at the top of towers?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be anything like that. You do take out, it is a very formulaic game. Well, the Far Cry series is very formulaic ever since number 3. You go to outposts, you take down the outposts, you scout out a bit of the area, you gain strength, blah, blah, blah. It's very similar to that. I'm of the opinion that perhaps it shouldn't have been a full price release. Did you ever play Far Cry Blood Dragon?
I don't even know what that is.
Good lord. One of your viewers, Wiggles viewers, someone buy him, because I'm not buying him it, Far Cry Blood Dragon. My god, it's absolutely fantastic. It's basically Far Cry, but as if it was set in a cheesy 80s action movie. It's absolutely hilarious. It's so good. And that wasn't a full price. You could probably pick it up on Steam during this sale that's going on now for a pretty good price. And it's just so good. You should just play it. It doesn't last too long. Short, sweet, good action, good gameplay. Enjoy it. But Primal, I'm very interested to see how well it sells. I think it will sell well because I think that the Far Cry brand has become a bit of a... I think the Far Cry brand's become a lot more popular than people give it credit for lately. I think it's going to be guaranteed sales just because it has the Far Cry name on it, because the last two were particularly good. And I think that people like the amount of people moaning about, we want to go back to World War II shooters. I know it's not a World War II shooter, but it's certainly a change of pace, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really get many shooters apart from, like the survival horror or the survival games like Rust and all that have that caveman element. But this one is completely caveman. So I think it'll sell well. I'm just not sure about whether or not it's for me. So,
right.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the original statement I was making.
About the Steam sales.
Yeah, about the Steam sales. I think, so you would wait until...
Yeah, with a lot of games I would. I find,
absolutely.
this is probably going to sound like I can't see myself spending £50 on a game or whatever, because that's the normal release price now for a lot of games, isn't it? £50 for a AAA
on PC,
kind of game.
it tends to be 40.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I can't see myself spending £40 on a game unless it's like possibly the best game in the world. And even then, there are a lot of games that people spend, 50, 40 quid or whatever on to play 15 hours worth of gameplay.
Yeah.
And that's just too much for me.
Yeah. My rule, whenever I play a game, my rule is that if I get £1 an hour, then it's good value.
Right, okay, yeah, fair enough.
So if I were to buy a game for full price, I would expect at least 40 hours of gameplay out of it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Quid.
Yeah, that's a pretty good system. But yeah, it's like some of these games. I remember when Homefront came out, and I used to work at Game Station, and I had people coming in asking to return it after 2 days because they completed it after 3 or 4 hours worth of gameplay.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, 3 or 4 hours of gameplay, and you've just paid 40 quid for this?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be fuming if I was you, mate. So it was just, yeah, it was just that's one of the reasons I don't like playing full price for games. Like, call me a cheap bastard if you want, but I don't know. That's MMOs on the other hand. They're normally very good value for money.
Well, yes, no, yes, I completely agree with you. I mean, I was going to say you have to pay a monthly subscription, but I put, what was it, 3,500 hours?
Yeah, exactly. So
I can't,
you're not getting ripped off at all, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. No, that's fair enough. Yeah, so I agree. I think the last game I paid for full price on Steam was Dishonored. And that was, I regretted that because I played it, but I think I probably only played 3 hours because it just wasn't for me. And since then I've been like, no. I'm gonna wait if there's some games I want. So I mean, if I look at my wish list, I mean, games like even War for the Overworld, which isn't that expensive. I still want to wait a little bit. Ender's Legend, which is about 30 quid when it's not in a sale. I could actually go there soon. It's only about 81. But there's a lot of games in here that I really want, but I just don't want to drop the full price on them because I don't. It's too much of an unknown quantity to drop that kind of money for me personally.
Are you still recording this?
Yes.
Okay.
Has yours died again?
No, my computer is having the world's biggest panic attack.
Brilliant. So is it still recording, or is it just, have you stopped it?
No, I don't even know. I can't even I can't even open it, man.
Okay. Oh well, yes, I am definitely still recording it.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Great, fantastic. Okay, hang on 2 seconds. Let me.
Oh, so whilst you're doing that, I'm going to start moving on to the news and reading out some of the news whilst you're just messing around, yeah?
Yeah. Are we back? Yeah. Oh, I think we're back, kind of.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy shit. I may as well play Habbo Hotel on stream or something. That would be less graphically intensive. What is my computer doing?
I think it's probably because you upgraded to Windows 10.
It's
nothing but a problem. No, actually, to be fair, Windows 10, I've had no real problems with it.
This is bizarre. This is ruined. Okay, yeah, we're back apparently. I'm going to get back out to sea where it's like not laggy as hell. Anyway, continue. Go for it. We'll keep going regardless.
Now it's time for our news section. No, I probably shouldn't do a little jingle. That's a bit weird.
I don't do that.
Okay, news. Right, so here we go. Based on what we were talking about earlier, the Steam has launched a surprise sale that no one really knew about, which is pretty cool. And certainly I didn't know about it. It's the Lunar Sale because it's Chinese New Year, I think, soon. It's always around my birthday. It's my birthday weekend, so it must be any time soon. Anyway, Steam launches Lunar Sale. Just another sale on Steam. It's running until the 12th of February, so it's a nice long one. So we've got a fair amount of time on it. A couple of interesting games are in the discount, as I mentioned earlier. We've got games like Fallout's gone down by 30% off, which is pretty good. I think Grand Theft Auto's in it as well. But this just ties into, I think it's good that Steam is doing more of these sales. It gives more of a chance of people to get these games. And I bet they started to do more sales because they must see their sales absolutely surge, and it's good business for them. So it can only be a good thing that I welcome more sales because it's when I pick up. I put it to you that I have only bought games in Steam sales, like in the last year or two. I haven't in the last couple of years. I haven't bought a game unless it was in a Steam sale, and I'm being deadly serious there.
When did you buy Fallout 4 then?
I was given Fallout 4 from work.
Shit.
So there we go.
Okay, fair enough.
But other games that I bought recently, I bought Fallout 1 and 2, sale price, and I bought a couple of other games as well. So yeah, they're really good, and I think, as I said, I think they're really good for the business. So it's a good thing. We can only expect more, and I think that's good for us. I think it's good for anyone who wants to play PC games. Right. Next one, the only other, we're in February now. There isn't much happening on. It's a bit of a slow news week. We have a confirmed release date for the Doom remake. Did you know there was a Doom remake coming? You must have done.
Yes, because that's had massive publicity on Facebook.
That's because it's Doom.
Yeah, no, but it's had massive publicity on Facebook because it was saying something like the ad for the YouTube, banned from YouTube for being too gory or something. I don't know what it was. But I don't think it is banned from YouTube. I think it's just a clickbait title, But
oh, yeah, no, it's not banned from YouTube. I've seen it on YouTube. It is pretty gory. I mean, this monster rips your legs off and beats you to death with them. But it's nothing... It's nothing horrendous. I mean, it's CGI, isn't it? How bad can it really be? Yeah. And it's only violence.
My computer is legitly dying. And
Really?
yes, this is awful.
I mean, sorry, just to get back on topic. We're talking about violence. How what's that South Park quote? Is that remember, hideous violence is okay, just as long as they're not. I can't remember the South Park. It's like hideous violence is okay as long as they're not swearing.
What?
It's just that South Park quote. You know, the whole
Oh,
point, the South Park movie where they're okay with all the hideous violence, but you know, if they start swearing, then that's where they draw the line and go to war with Canada and everything. It is the way our society runs at the moment, isn't it? The violence is okay, but the swearing and the nudity, no, thank you.
but yeah, I have seen it. It does. It looks really good.
Yeah. So it's PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It's coming out on I've written the date, 13th of May, and you can get yourself a £100 collector's edition, and that obviously buys you the game and a 12-inch statue of the Revenant, which is kind of like this funky-looking skeletal man thing with cannons on his shoulders. Pretty cool-looking figure, to be fair. And £100 for, if the quality is as it looks in the pictures on the website, pretty good price, to be fair. And it lights up, apparently. £100, pretty good. Do you remember the Titanfall collector's edition when that came out?
Sorry, my computer's fucking dying. What was that? When Titanfall came out?
Do you remember when the Titanfall collector's edition came out?
No.
Oh, okay. It was like an 18-inch statue that lit up, but it was £250.
Yeah, but people are ridiculous.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
amount of money. Hang on.
I just think £100, as
Dude.
expensive as that is. Yeah.
Dude, you're breaking up badly. What I'm going to say to do is I'm going to restart my computer.
Yep.
Okay? Keep the recording going.
Yep. And then we'll
Okay?
edit it.
I'll cut it.
Okay, fine.
And then we'll come back. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes.
Okay, fine.
Right, be right back.
Yep.
So yeah, sorry about that, guys. I just had to restart my computer because it maxed out on RAM for some reason.
Superb jump cut.
I know, right? I think I've got some horrific RAM leakage issue. So yeah, I do apologise for that. But yeah, we can continue from where we left off.
Crisis in the Wiggle servers.
Yep, rip the dream.
Brilliant.
I mean, where are you? Where are we up to?
Oh, we were just talking about the collector's edition for Titanfall, just that it was an absurd amount of money. Just saying that the £100 that you're going to have to pay for the Doom one is, if you want it, if you're into that kind of thing, pretty good going for value. I mean, it's got a pretty decent quality statue in it. Well, I say pretty decent. We'll have to see when it comes out. So yeah, pretty cool. That is it for the news in terms of the major news stories for the week that's just gone. Do ye have, from your previous videos, any questions? Because I've actually got one written down here that I've picked up, and if you've got any, let me know. If not, we'll just go straight to my one.
I don't. However, I can't believe we were this close to the end and my computer died.
Well, yeah.
I can't believe we were so close to finishing. I just had a heart attack at the last second. I mean, chat, if you've got any questions whilst we're talking about this first question, then, you know, please do feel free to ask your questions whenever. And yeah, what were your what was your question then?
Right, okay. Actually, technically not a question. It was a bit misleading there, but it's a comment from one of your viewers on your video. I was looking through the comments to see if I could find anything to discuss. It's a comment from Emo Duckman, so thank you, Emo Duckman. Oh, and his comment, let me just get up my screen here. Yeah, it was just last week we were talking about, or not last week, a couple of weeks ago, last episode we were talking about the Oculus Rift, and we were just talking about the price points, whether it was good price, bad price, and we were talking about whether or not they were making a loss on it, because it's $600, which is, you know, a lot of money to the standard person, but still we were saying about whether or not they were making a loss, because it's, you know, a big piece of technology. Emo Duckman sent us a message saying that apparently they've come out and said that they are not making a loss on the Rift, but it is at cost price they're selling it to us, so they make no profit at all, so they're not making a loss, but they're not making a profit either. And he also says, I'm sure that they're making a loss to all the ones who paid $300 to get the full thing. So I don't know if you know, I think we mentioned this briefly last time, but if you were one of the initial backers, and you got sent dev kit, they have said that for those initial backers who paid initially $300 for their first kit, that they will be getting the full released Oculus Rift for no extra cost. So that's pretty good. So I'm sure they'll be making a loss on that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I mean, initial backers, yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and I have actually got some evidence here that corroborates Emo Duckman's story. Palmer Lucky, which is a superb name for a person. This guy's the CEO, I believe, of Oculus Rift, or managing director, or at least one of the founders. He came out on Twitter, verified account, so it's all legit, and he said, to reiterate, we are not making money on Rift hardware. High-end VR is expensive, but Rift is obscenely cheap for what it is. So yeah, we touched on this last week. It's got a lot of technology in it. It is a pretty good price for what it is. It is only going to sell to a niche market anyway, so I don't think it's going to hit them too bad. We'll obviously keep some people out, but dems to breaks. Blu-ray players were hideously expensive when they first came out. And look at them now. iPhones, you're paying, $700, $800 for an iPhone these days, or what was it in our money? About £500. So
yeah, it's an absurd amount of money. I don't know.
It's premium products don't keep people out, but at the same time, they, just because they are premium price doesn't mean they're not going to sell, and it doesn't mean that it's going to flounder. But I still think that this will indeed sell to a niche market because you need that high-end PC to go with it. So yeah, thank you for that comment, Emo Duckman. That's it in terms of the comments. That was quite an interesting point made there. Have you got anything on your end?
No, I don't think anyone's got any questions today.
That's fine.
They're being quiet talking amongst themselves.
Oh, glad they're entertaining themselves.
Yeah, someone did make a good comment. People are complaining about the $600 price tag of the Oculus Rift from their $900 phones.
There we go. Exactly. See, there you go. I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Whilst wearing their, however many $100 Ray-Bans and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. I guess it's because the VR thing can only do one thing, whereas their phone.
Well, it's not so much that the phone can do everything. The phone works in its own right. The VR thing, as I said, you got to get at least $1,000's worth of PC to run that thing that bad. Well, I mean, it's a GTX 970 is the minimum, and that ain't a cheap card. Certainly not the most expensive, but it ain't a cheap card. So yeah, it's a lot of money, but it should do fine. It depends whether or not people are ready for. I think it depends, crucially, on whether or not people are interested in VR gaming. Because I think it's a good gimmick, but I don't know. And whether or not the technology is far enough advanced that it can make a truly immersive, engaging, and more importantly, fun game. I mean, games are fun. They're fun at the end of the day. There's a reason that, I know you're not big into it, football. It's a massively fun game to play. It's existed for hundreds of years. It's not exactly expensive to play. Just because it's expensive and it can do a lot doesn't mean it's going to be good. I mean, if I'm going to bring this argument close to home, Minecraft. It's one of the lowest spec games you can run, but it's also probably the most popular game of all time now, right? It's got to be of all time.
Well, it's very popular, yeah.
And that's not like it's running. You don't need a grand's worth of rig and equipment to run that. So,
yeah.
Just because it's expensive don't mean it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Right. Shall we do the outros?
Got one more thing.
Go.
One more question. Someone, Tanorama, asked me, what games besides BDO am I looking forward to? Yo, that's a really hard question because I've kind of pinned my hopes on Black Desert. I mean, I'm looking forward to Legion coming out so I can try World of Warcraft again and try and like WoW again.
I'm looking forward to Legion coming out as well because I've been watching all these class changes videos in the class.
Yeah, you've been watching a lot of Preach, haven't you?
Yes, I believe so. I believe that's his name.
Yeah, Preach Gaming.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm looking very forward to Legion coming out. I mean, I'm really picky with games. I mean, you guys know this. If you've watched me before, you know this, Dan. I'm so picky with games.
Yep.
I get kind of hooked on one game and I'll burn the shit out of it. And then I'll get bored of it. And then I'll move on. I mean, Bless is an MMO that's coming out, which I'm kind of looking forward to trying.
That game sounds like it was made for you. I mean, that's your favourite word of all time. Exactly.
Yeah, Bless is something that I'm definitely looking forward to because, I mean, it's a Korean MMO again, I think. Apparently the combat system's dog shit. But they might fix it. Besides that, it's very good. But I mean, besides that, there's not really. Oh no! There is one. There's a MOBA that I'm looking forward to coming out. Is it Paragon? Is that what it's...
God, Paragon. Yeah, someone else was talking about this.
That is what I'm looking forward to. A high graphic MMO. That looks interesting.
You mean do you mean MOBA, not MMO?
MOBA, sorry, MOBA.
Right, okay, good.
Yeah, it looks interesting. So I am looking very forward to trying that. I'm signed up for the beta and everything, or the alpha, or whatever it is we can get into at the moment. So just waiting to see if I can actually try it out.
Cool.
But yeah, those are the two games kind of that I'm keeping an eye on at the moment this year. I only really play MMOs, some MOBAs, and StarCraft. That's kind of like my game board kind of thing.
Just quickly before we wrap this up, I know you were saying that the other week you were starting to play League again. So what was the situation with that?
Well, I just decided that I'm at the point now where I've kind of learned as much in Black Desert as I want to for the launch. So I don't want to I don't want to burn myself out on it, so I'm trying to pass the time by playing other games. And I thought, okay, I'll start playing StarCraft again. Realised why I stopped queuing ranked StarCraft matches, because they basically stress me out. But League of Legends doesn't, because there are 5 of us, so I can rely on my other teammates to carry me essentially.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm really enjoying League of Legends again at the moment. I'm sure I'll get bored of it in a couple of weeks, and I'll get angry that I'm placed in bronze or something, because I'm terrible at that game.
Yes.
But for now, it's something to pass the time until Black Desert comes out for me.
Good.
But yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, I think we're about done. We're off to watch the Super Bowl tonight for my birthday, so that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we are. We're going to town, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to go town. We're going to have some beers. We're going to watch the football. Don't know how much of it we'll actually get through, but good lord, it's going to be a long night. But I've taken the day off work tomorrow, so it doesn't matter. Right, okay, so thank you everybody for listening to the third A.T.A.N.A.T podcast. I have once again been Hackbeard. You can find me at Hackbeard_ on Twitter, Hackbeard on YouTube. I don't stream, so don't bother looking for me on Twitch. And I was again joined by my lovely brother, Private Wiggles. Tell us about yourself again, Private Wiggles.
So if you want to find me on anything, social media, Twitter is Private Wiggles TV or PVT Wiggles TV. Everything else, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I think that's it. That's all I have. Yeah, that's all just PVT Wiggles. So if you want to check me out, do feel free. I'm going to upload this video on my YouTube. Dan, you're uploading yours on the YouTube as well, aren't you?
That is correct.
Yeah. So
cool.
There we go, boys and girls. That's it for today.
As I said, I know before, originally we said we were going to try and do one weekly. Obviously, that hasn't happened. We've been a couple of weeks away, but I've been busy. I've been out.
Yeah, we'll get back on it.
We'll get back on it, and if we don't, it's just the way it drops. But it's nice to not have a set schedule, and we could just do this. It keeps it enjoyable. Keeps it actually, doing it just for telols, I believe, is what the kids say these days.
For telols,
so,
yeah,
love
good
it.
one.
Say goodbye, Tom.
Cool. See you later, dude. Yeah, have fun. Thank you for watching, guys.
And it's goodbye from me. Bye.